internet strangers or internet friends. What do I know? And I'm sure some of you are friends. So fantastic. Good to see you all again, or for the first time. This is Heroes Die Show, and you have just joined the couple minutes of BSing time that occurs before we go live. Congratulations. I'm Jason, and we have other folks, and we're all going to introduce ourselves and each other. You know what I'm saying? You're going to find out more about us.
We could introduce each other.
That would be interesting.
All right. You know what? Money where your mouth is. You're introducing Andrew. Andrew, you're introducing Josh. Josh, you got Paula. All right.
Oh, no.
All right.
Are we going now?
No, not yet.
Oh,
You'll have to remember that. That's going to be on the quiz.
Remember that.
For introductions.
I don't think I have money where my mouth was.
Well, you do now. God, I've been rewatching Bob's Burgers with my daughter. It's delightful. Like,
that show is on repeat in our household, so huge fan.
I've never seen it.
It's so good and so fucking heartwarming. It's amazing.
Oh, that's a weird thing to hear about Bob's Burgers, that it's heartwarming. I mean, I guess there is a lot of it's just family drama, right? But just in a wacky turn of events kind of thing.
I can't say enough positive things about it.
So I think the first season is much more Simpsons Family Guy-ish, but then by the second half of season 1 on, it's very much more wholesome. I mean, it's very funny, but they definitely get rid of some of the shock humor and add in a little bit more wholesome humor.
Okay. Probably just took them a bit to find their stride.
Yeah.
It's really, really amazingly good. Can't recommend it enough. I didn't watch it for a long. I'd heard of it and never watched it. And then finally I was like, I don't know. I've heard so much. I'm gonna do it. It's like I haven't watched Adventure Time yet, but I really want to. I've heard very positive things, and I'm excited to give it a go through. I've watched episodes sporadically, but I haven't really gone through and done it.
It's like how most people are with Law and Order.
I'll have you know, I watched so many episodes of Law and Order growing up.
In sequence?
No, I don't think so, because I was watching reruns on television. So
that's fair.
But yeah,
I think it's on one of the streaming services now. You could just binge watch it start to finish.
It could be interesting to watch it in sequence.
See if there is an overarching.
Can't do more than 10 minutes, and then I'm yelling at the screen
for professional reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Huge,
that's fair.
It's nails on a chalkboard.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
I feel like it's similar to the reason why I can't watch a lot of historical dramas, because it's just
You don't like Ancient Aliens for its historical accuracy?
Okay, Ancient Aliens is its own thing.
That's true.
Yeah. God. That's the worst. That was you know what? I don't want to talk shit about Ancient Aliens. No, I'm going to. What a fucking unbelievably bad show. I spent some time in the Army, and at one point I was stuck with this guy every day for 7 months in the same space. Not a lot of fun. Kids, whatever your decisions are about the Army, consider whether or not you want to get stuck with someone who is, whether you think they're an asshole at the beginning or not, by the end of 7 months, you'll think they're an asshole. Right. But this guy loved Ancient Aliens and was talking about it. It's listen, bro, you got to see this. I'm like, no, stop.
As ancient astronaut theorists believe.
Oh, God damn, bro.
I used to throw on an episode of that every night before bed, a few years back. It was just something to fall asleep to.
I honestly don't know if I've even seen an episode of it. I've seen all the memes, but I don't think I've ever watched an episode. Yeah, I've seen the memes, but not the not the actual show. But I feel I know enough about it.
I think you probably already got it. This, I had to watch a couple because it's listen, you have to see it. I'm like, all right, fine. And 7 months, long time, right? You can just be sitting there. So,
yeah. It's basically just, ancient civilizations couldn't have invented any form of technology. Has to be aliens. They drew this thing that could be misinterpreted as a modern day airplane. So that's what it must be.
There was a lot of, when I was watching, it was a lot of like Hinduism was basically something to do with aliens. I was like, this doesn't seem very legit. Like, I'm not deeply into the Hindu religion, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, I think the odds are low that they're really just a text about aliens.
They've taken I'm pretty sure every world religion, or at least every major world religion, and basically made it about aliens. It's, yeah.
That's
what a strange
careful.
writing gig.
There could be like a lot of people out there watching right now who really love Ancient Aliens. So
it's a good, fun romp. But the stuff about the pyramids is easily disprovable. They used rollers. Just roll big stones on logs.
Yeah.
Ropes, pretty easy.
Yeah.
but aliens.
Aliens could have used logs. They had that technology.
I mean, if I've learned anything from playing Tears of the Kingdom, there's a lot you can do with logs and some magical alien goop.
I don't know what this is, but I'm interested.
It's the newest Zelda game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of crafting, a little bit of Minecraft-esque. A lot of people building tanks and basically just breaking the Geneva Convention in a Zelda game.
Nice. I put my Switch back together because of the new Zelda game, because I wanted to go play the old Zelda game, the last new Zelda game,
Previous one, yeah.
and then instead my wife and I have been playing Mario Kart again, which, God, awesome.
That's fair. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's
Rainbow
good.
Road, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, the new Zelda game is pretty good. There's more story in it within the first hour than the entirety of Breath of the Wild. I liked Breath of the Wild. Don't come at me.
I do like how he got more defensive over Breath of the Wild than Ancient Aliens, though.
Right.
We know where the pulse of the internet is right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, Ancient Aliens is kind of old hat at this point.
Right. Yeah, I feel like the Zelda games are not something you want to like speak badly about. And honestly, I really enjoyed Breath of the Wild. Like, I just haven't finished it, you know. That's not like that your swords broke. I was like, why do your swords have to break? That seems...
There's still,
you know, I am so excited about getting a sword and then it breaks. I know, you told me this.
Yeah, fuse other stuff to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. All right. Well, I think, folks, we're about ready to begin. How y'all feeling?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Ready.
Excellent. All right.
Feeling dwarvish.
give me your best, like, angry Scottish, like, just a unintelligible statement, but it's angry.
You don't give me a hamburger right now. You're going to slap me right side the face.
Yeah, there we go. And with that, folks,
I don't even know what I said.
with that, folks, we're going. Welcome to episode 3 of our Best Left Buried miniseries called By Any Means. So this is a show where if you've watched the regular Best Left Buried episodes, which you can catch here on this Twitch channel, provided you're on Twitch, or sometime later if you're on some other service, on whatever service that is, here every Saturday from 1 to 4 Central Time. I am your game master, Jason. It's nice to see you, and I'm joined by my awesome cast. We're gonna start on my left with Andrew, who's actually going to introduce Josh, and then Josh is going to introduce Paula, and Paula's going to introduce Andrew.
We got to put our money where our mouth is now. Okay. Oh boy.
I was very hopeful he had forgotten.
Which direction is Josh from me right here?
Down,
Right?
down. Yep.
Hi, everyone. My name doesn't matter yet. We'll get to that later. This is Josh down here. He's playing Gran.
Gron.
Gran. That's how it's pronounced. I should know this. We're on episode 3. The leader of our little mercenary troop. Kind of no nonsense, very well polished, an oily fellow, one might say. Bald head, slicked beard, and very nicely polished armor that's probably got a few more dents and scrapes than he could ever care to ever have.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Yes, and joined in some direction from me, we have Paula, who is playing Grenda. She is a fighter, take no nonsense type. She has her war pick, Skull Splitter. which has proven to live up to its name multiple times on the battlefield. She's tough, no nonsense. Seems to, if you dig real deep, have a little bit of a soft spot for the young soldiers, but it's definitely not on the surface there, as she is a tough dwarf.
That's me. So to my
Right as I'm looking
Left.
at you, but it could be left.
maybe somewhere over here is
Yeah,
Andrew.
That way.
Andrew. Andrew is the amazing voice of our intro video that you're going to hear shortly. And today he's playing Gilborn Gruffborn, or Gil for short. Gil is a little different than the rest of this mercenary troop. He is a half elf, half dwarf, and he's got these cool mutton chops, but unfortunately he can't really grow a full beard, much to his father's chagrin. And yeah, I think he's a wizard artificer. Does a little magic making, a little inventing. He joined this troop basically because he wanted to get some sponsorship to make some cool stuff. And he almost died when we played last time. I think it was last time. But yeah,
Session near the end of session 1, I think.
he almost died when we played
Yeah.
one of the previous times we played. But yeah, he's probably got the best, like most people. He's the most people person out of the group. And yeah,
Shouldn't be.
and he's got a great
-1
accent
charisma.
too. So that's
Yeah,
him.
and
So
that's our absolutely fantastic cast for the By Any Means miniseries. Really appreciate you all joining. In fact, while we're on it, let me just get to a couple of thank yous. First off, I want to say thank you to all of you for taking the time to watch. It's a really fun show to put on, and it means a lot to have people actually watch it. So we really appreciate you sticking around. I want to say thank you to the awesome cast that I have, because it's super fun to watch y'all play, and I love it, and I'm really grateful to be able to spend the time with you. Beyond that, we also want to thank the folks over at Tabletop Audio who make the awesome background music that we use to kind of set the scene and improve the mood. Check it out, tabletopaudio.com. It's awesome. It's free, and you should just use it. Want to say thanks to the folks at MCDM. We're using a bunch of the monsters and a bunch of the rules out of their Flea Mortals book, which is coming up or may have published, depending on by the time you're watching this. And couldn't recommend it highly enough. It's a really awesome set of tools, and if you like the way our heroes are, knocking enemies down, that's Minions. Check them out. And I think with that, folks, we're going to get to the intro and then get to the game. See you in a minute.
Ah, old friend, you're here again. So glad you could stop by. Come, sit a while and let's begin. The tale of heroes die. In distant lands are stories made with villains most despised. A tale of magic, strength, and blade, of camaraderie and lies. It's one I know quite well, you see. Perhaps you'll find out why. The legends and the histories remember. Heroes die.
And we're back. We are back. And it's funny. You were trying to throw me by saying something as we came back, and you threw me by not saying it. It actually got. It's even worse. Yeah,
we get up to so many shenanigans during that intro video.
Hijinks. Folks, thank you so much. Let's talk about episode 3 of By Any Means. In the last episode, our heroes, the Iron Hand Mercenary Company, led by the intrepid and frankly charismatic Gron, just to put that out there, they have gone to the dig site at Shattengrad to participate in an expedition. There are wizards of the Cerberus Assembly have been hiring mercenaries in order to uncover what is at the center of this burial ground deep underneath the ruins of the city of Shattengrad, which are already ruins. So it's like way, way down in the depths. Our heroes are in this very large cavern, and there is a military base that holds kind of the entrance to this cavern, or military outpost, a fort, that sounds right, that holds the entrance to this cavern. Within this cavern is this large burial ground. Our heroes and a number of other mercenaries have been exploring the Barrowlands beyond this camp, and it's been fairly difficult. Just last night, the wizards running the camp sent a fresh contingent of mercenaries to hold this hill that overlooked the Barrowland. And in doing so, there was a very violent and very significant magical and physical struggle between the forces of the Barrowlands and the mercenaries, with a serious battle that ended with a lot of casualties for the mercenaries. The Cerberus Assembly and the assembled, military forces, be they Righteous Brand soldiers or the various mercenary companies, now hold the top of the hill. It's late afternoon, and Gron has been given instructions that tonight the Iron Hand Company is to move back into the Barrowlands, and they are to unseal the barrow at the second marker, whatever they do. Now, we rejoin our heroes as they prepare in late afternoon for their mission to move down into the Barrowlands. Folks, off to you. And I'm going to put on some spooky music.
All right. So we have our supplies and the wand and all of that, and just... All right. We did uncover the gem last time we were out, but with those couple flags in place, I think we can safely navigate to our next destination. Wouldn't you agree?
I sure hope so. As long
You
as we don't
think?
have to go inside that first crypt again.
You think there are more of those things out there?
Certainly seems like there's a lot of something out there.
If there weren't, I'd be surprised.
So we'll rally the troops and start making our way out.
All right. You gather your folks. So you're joined by the three of your compatriots. Brug. Oh, hold on. I have to remember their names. Brug, Hilda, and Drog. Brug being the very quiet, very stoic, very well-manicured dwarf. Drog being his complete opposite. Very loud, very messy, very gruff, and speaks a lot. Hilda being a lady dwarf. Whatever. She's a woman. She has no hair. No visible hair anywhere, and lots of tattoos. The six of you, as you get ready and get set to depart, first you see a large contingent of the bulwark, Endelian's bulwark, being sent out down the hill. So you're looking down at the Barrowlands. You see them covered in mist. Again, this is Gilborn, really noticeable to you because you've been watching, but anyone can see it. The mists are beginning to roil and boil and almost bubble. You can see lightning light pierce the mists periodically as something is happening. Towards dark on the hill, you can see a large area on the top of the hill has been cleared, and the mages from the Cerberus Assembly are doing some sort of ritual. and you can see it beginning to take effect as light begins to surround the ritual area. Various blues and greens and other colors begin to emerge from this ritual, and you can see as that intensifies, what the activity down in the mists around the Barrowlands seems to be intensifying. Something is occurring now. Some magical phenomena is occurring to do something around the Barrowlands. You see the bulwark move out and go to occupy that further forward space, and it is now time for the Iron Hand Company to move out.
Would I recognize any of the chanting, any of the potential like runic symbols, or even just the color of the magic that the Cerberus Assembly mages are using?
So it is clear that they are performing a very complex ritual, and one thing you noticed, one thing you're fairly certain of, is you can begin to see it a little bit. So those lines of power that Gron described he saw when he was using detect magic to see what was going on, you can see them begin to almost become visible to the naked eye, and you can see a line of power moving from that ritual site towards the center of the barrow. So while it's unclear the particular magic they are wielding, it is very clear to you that this is something to do with the broader magical, say almost like the magical formula that seems to hold this barrow in place.
Okay.
Is that useful?
Yeah, so they're kind of tapping into the ley line that's running straight over
through
the
to
road.
the center. In fact, now that you're looking, you can see ley lines running out in every direction like a spoke from this central hub.
How far are we from the miss?
At the top of the hill, you're very far, but the outpost is probably 200 feet down the hill, and then the actual mists are only 30 feet, 40 feet from the outpost.
Okay.
Grenda is going to try to very subtly and hopefully not obviously just observe Hilda and Brug to see if they're, I don't know, like just to see if they've got something going on.
Yeah, if there's anything going on. As you watch them, you know, they're very clearly like about their business. Like, if there's one thing you can say about your three followers in general, they are very serious once the fighting starts. So all of them have their shields up, their weapons out, and they're in line. But you do catch some fond looks exchanged between Hilda and Brug on occasion.
When she catches this, she just kind of looks down, but she's keeping an eye on them.
Nice. All right, you begin moving towards the mist. You get to the outpost. You can see now some of those same younger folks from the bulwark that you saw, as well as some of the older veterans. It looks like a much reduced force. There's 30 of them now down by the outpost, and there were still some left up at the top of the hill, but a much larger contingent than the Red Suns or the Red Snakes left with you last time. So you've got a good bit of backup, and they look, you know, whereas yesterday they looked fresh-faced and new, today some look like they're in a bit of shock, some of them look, you know, more grizzled, but these folks they've now survived contact with the enemy the first time and are a little bit harder for the experience, or dead, but these ones are a little bit harder.
Well then, I suppose it's more of the same. You've seen the horrors that are out there in the Barrowlands, and no more surprises, eh? If we go in expecting the worst and we meet it, then we're just prepared. Isn't that right? And kind of call out to the group that's at the outpost.
Yeah, they nod at you, some looking stern and solid, some looking very nervous. But their commander gives you a solid nod. Good luck out there, folks.
We'll be back. And I'll look back. Gil, you have the wand on you?
Yeah, I've got the one right here. Want me to carry it, or do you want to carry it?
No, you'll be in charge of that. I'll
All right.
Grenda and I will take up the front line, try to aim it between us and in front of us at all times. We want to move quickly through the mist. I'm not exactly sure how long the wand will last, and, well, there's just no reason to dilly-dally there. Am I right?
It's less of a cone and more of a like an aura around it. So, central, or I could go a little bit, 3/4 of the way to the front of the group.
I think the two of us will take up the front lines, but I want you to be close.
Be right behind you.
And why don't the three of you, Hilda, you'll be up next to Gil, and the two of you will take up the back.
The nod.
All right.
Roger that, Captain.
Let's go then.
Nice. You begin moving into the mist. Now, Gil, as you activate the wand, there is this regular, strong breeze around y'all that gives you about a 20-foot circle of clear view. So last time you went into the mist, it was really hard to see, like really, really hard to see. Now, this time, you were lucky if you could see 10, 15 feet at any given time, right? Often you would have trouble seeing your hand in front of your face. Now you have a clear view of the ground, a clear view of things that come within your little bubble, but there's still rough roiling mists at the edges. You begin moving deeper into the barrows. Again, there's a steep incline, and you get down. As you get to the bottom, you see that the ground in places is rough earth or stone, and then other places you see cobblestone, as if someone has built roads or built pathways here in the ground. You see the markers set up from last time that give you a general sense of your path, and it's much easier to follow now than it was before. You head deeper in. As you're looking, you begin to see, you can hear those sounds of movement, of something out there in the mists, as you heard last time you were here, but it's still kind of diffuse and not in any particular place. Before you go too far, you can start to hear some fighting back behind you, as if things have begun coming out of the mist, and that those forces of the bulwark are already engaged. Continue on. You see that first marker, that barrow site where you fought that large wraith-like figure, and you continue moving. Forward. Can I get a perception check from who's ever in lead? Or I'll take one with advantage if Gran or Grenda want to give it to me.
How's your perception, Grenda?
That's pretty good.
Keep your eyes peeled then.
All right. That's 17.
Nice. As you're going, keep seeing the mist push back, and like as it gets pushed back, for a minute you're not sure, but then you catch it and you see it. There are faces or figures in the mist, made of mist, as you move backwards, right? You'll see what you think are humanoid faces with various expressions, but none of them look good. It's all hollow eyes and open mouths, as if they're screaming, whether it's in pain or terror or fury, you're not sure.
Stay sharp. There's something in the mist. It's like faces. I don't know if it'll attack, but
Don't like the sounds of that.
I don't like the looks of it.
Oh boy. Just a note to everybody. Don't follow in my footsteps from the other day, eh? Don't antagonize the giant shadow thing.
Hilda looks at you, just goes, "Great advice, Gil."
That's me. Full of great advice.
That's why we keep you around.
Grana grips his warhammer and it glows briefly. And I want to use Divine Sense. How many, or what are the locations of the undead within 60 feet?
There are undead around you. None of them are within, well, none of them are within or in less than 20 feet, but there are undead around you, right? There are some at 20 to 25 feet. There are some further out. But this place is full of it, and the ground here is certainly unhallowed in a very true sense. This whole place is fundamentally evil.
The warhammer dims and goes back to its normal color. Well, sure is a nasty place, but I suppose we already knew that, eh?
As long as it sticks to, the small guys coming, I think we'll be all right. Even on my last leg, I was able to take out some of the bone ones.
Aye, they don't seem to be nearly as tough, but let's push forward.
You get going further, Gron. You see that first marker that you set, the trap marker for when you were using your abilities to see magic. You get to that pillar where that creature tried to capture Brug, right, and steal his breath, and where Gron, you yourself were so badly injured, and in fact nearly killed. You can still see some of the bodies from your fight, but there's fewer. There's significantly fewer, as if something is taken away. And those that are there, would anyone care to take a peek at them? Because they look disturbed and disturbing.
I'll take a little peeky blue here.
Something has been eating them.
Do you want some kind of check for this?
No. It's
Okay.
as you spend a bit of time looking, something's been eating them.
And these
You
were
can actually
ghouls to
see
begin with.
they were ghouls to begin with. You can see there's still some wet spots on the bodies, as whatever's been gnawing on them has left behind some of their saliva.
I don't think the things here are very picky eaters. It looks like they've been they've been eating some of the corpse people. That's some fresh ichor right there.
All right. Keep it moving. Watch your step there. Watch your step, and like keeps pointing at the flag that he placed, and just says, "Keep it moving." Like kind of like taps you on the back to move you off the bodies. And...
Right. Yep. Okay.
Brenda,
Okay.
you see rising out of the mist. You see the outline. It's at a distance, but the outline of one of these burial mounds coming up ahead of you. This is likely that second marker.
Okay. I'm gonna just point it out. Take my war pick off. Look up there. You see it?
Not much further than...
Stay sharp.
How are we moving? Are we going fairly slowly? Are we going quickly?
I think quickly. Gron said hurry up and
Yeah.
don't dilly-dally too many times for us to be doing too much dilly-dallying.
Well, as you get closer to the mound, are we slowing it down or are we staying fast?
Full speed ahead.
Okay. As you're going, your boots begin to crunch like under you, as if you're walking on sticks, and you look down and you have entered a field of bones. These are dry, brittle bones all around you. Some pretty large, like really large. Some very small. It seems like it's just just piles of random assortments of bone. They're places where, like, the sharp bone fragments, if you weren't wearing good boots, would be cutting you or cutting your feet. Certainly don't want to be falling here, right? You can see off to the side as you're passing through this large rib cage sticking out, the ribs towering at least 8 feet tall.
Does it look like any kind of creature that like we would be familiar with?
It looks like a huge assortment of creatures. This rib cage could be anything. It's just the ribs, but it's something big, like really big.
I'll just kind of look back and make sure everyone's following at a pretty close distance and
Yeah.
urge everyone ahead.
Yeah, now this is effectively hard terrain to walk over, or difficult terrain. So you're going to be going a little bit more slowly, but you keep crunching on the bones, and now that mound is much closer to you. You get up. You get to the point where you're past now all the trail markers that have been laid. So you're now on entirely new ground. Can I get the three of you to each roll me a d6?
Six.
2.
6.
Excellent. Grenda and Gron, as you're walking out ahead, Gil and Hilda are very close behind you. So we're going to say that you're spread out with Gil and Hilda, Grenda and Gron, and Brug and Drog behind, right, with about a little bit around 5 feet between you. As you're walking, there is suddenly this bright flash around you as a very serious discharge of electrical energy goes off. I'm going to need from both of you a dexterity saving throw. I'm also going to need one from you, Gil, but you can make it at advantage.
Ooh.
19.
Let's see. Rolled a 14, but I think I'm good on dex. 16.
Advantage,
Nice.
you said, right?
Yes.
5.
Nice.
Gil, no!
I got a 1 and a 3.
Nice. Okay,
But-
great. Great. So give me just one
Is it
sec.
possible, like, well, I was just
Do it.
wondering, I think it probably happens too quickly, but I was wondering if, like, I could throw my body onto Gil.
It's lightning. I'll be okay.
Yeah, no. So the the ground explodes right out around you. There are bits of bone flying out in all sorts of directions. For those that failed their saving throw, which is you, Gil, you take 20 points of lightning damage. Or I'm sorry, you take 10 points of lightning damage. You two take 20. And you can
still
have
going
it.
I'm going to absorb elements.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely.
That just, basically just take the thunderous kind of latent energy in the gauntlets and just kind of clang them and siphon some of that lightning, just channeling it into the actual chains.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
Gron is knocked to the ground from the blast and kind of like knocked flat on his back and realizes that he's just surrounded by bones and tries to push himself back up and kind of slips in the bone pile a little bit and stands up and starts just dusting himself off.
Yeah, as you get up, you can feel like at first you think you're disoriented, Gron. At first you think you're disoriented from the lightning strike, but then you look around and you can see Grenda, Gil, and the rest of your companions are shaking as the ground begins to tremble around you. You're now probably 15 feet from the foot of this mound, as the front of it erupts out in this violent explosion. A lot of you are showered with dirt as it comes falling down around you. At the same time, you can see almost you can see very clearly spectral forms begin to radiate out from that burial mound as things seem to flee the mound as quickly as they can. As things seem to flee the mound as quickly as they can, you quickly see, and y'all feel free to do something in this time, but you begin to see the spirits, these spectral figures swirling around like some sort of whirlpool and centering inside the field of bones, probably 20 feet from where you are. Bones now are being picked up and whipped by this spectral wind. Like you feel wind, Gil, from your creation, but you don't feel wind to accompany this tornado, yet you begin to see shards of bone flying around with this spectral wind. Y'all all have a minute to do something, so why don't you tell me what you want to do?
I think Grenda would just make sure that everyone's forming up and just like kind of hold the shield up. And I think we've done this maneuver where we just kind of lock shields and yeah, just kind of get in this defensive posture.
Yeah. Y'all are practiced at forming your shield wall, so absolutely, that's no problem. So go ahead and roll me some initiative, and I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about why that's relevant.
Gil's gonna do something smart in that moment that we've got of casting protection from good and evil on himself.
Nice.
Yeah, he doesn't
And-
repeat of the first marker.
Gron is going to cast Armor of Agathis at 2nd level.
Nice. Yeah, very, very smart, everybody. This funnel cloud of spirits, you can see it picks up more and more bone fragments. Some of the larger bits of bone seem to coalesce or seem to come into that cone, and they all begin to start slamming together in place. And you begin to see a figure emerging out of these shards of bone as they form together. And suddenly you're standing or you see this thing standing in front of you. It's probably 15 feet tall. It has 4 arms, each section made of large condensed bits of bone stuck together. Over its back there's this series of spikes coming up from it, like not quite like a porcupine, right, but very large and jagged looking spikes of bone. It's got 4 massive legs, each thick as an elephant's leg. As this thing begins forming up, and it tilts this large head, but almost elongated like a hammerhead shark's, turns it up towards you. You can see this mouth frozen open, and its eyes begin to burn deep red. And it moves towards
That's
you. Let's
so
hop into
cool.
initiative.
I love it.
I regret my earlier comments about it just being bones.
I rolled a 16 initiative.
Okay.
Lucky number 7.
Nice.
I got 4.
Where'd you go?
Gil.
There
That's
you
okay.
are, Gil.
I can't nearly die twice, right?
All right, sorry, one more time. Gil is 4. I got that. That's the only one I managed to
I was
remember.
already on there.
Oh, great. So,
16.
Granda, what were you?
16.
Okay. Yeah, excellent.
Yep, and I'm on there with the 7.
All right. The ground begins to rumble around you all as this thing forms up. It stomps its 2 front feet. It stomps them down, and the bones around it seem to resonate and move and begin twisting under your feet. I need everybody to make me an athletics or acrobatics check, please.
Boy.
10.
All right, you fall over.
6.
6. You fall prone.
I also rolled a 10.
You fall prone. Okay, so the bones begin rattling around. The bones begin rattling around under your feet, and while Hilda, Brug, and Drog all are able to maintain their footing as they slip around, the 3 of you each fall to the ground and are knocked prone. You each fall to the ground and are knocked prone. Grenda, you're up.
Okay, how far away is this
It's
giant?
about 20 feet from you.
So I wouldn't be able to make it to him,
Not without dashing, yeah.
right? Hi. I'm gonna stand up, so that's half my movement. And I can't really do anything. If I dash, I can't use any of my attacks. Is that correct?
So, if you dash, if you use your action to dash, you won't be able to attack this turn. Although you are a fighter, so you could action surge and still attack if you'd like. It gives you a second action.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, first time playing a fighter. I love it though.
fine.
I'm going to do that. I would like to run, and you said this thing has spikes on its back.
That's correct.
that
Yeah,
correct?
it's got spikes actually all over it. You see some spikes on its arm and in other places also.
I would really like to try and climb the spikes at least a little bit so that I can get onto its back to attack.
Okay. Yeah, so roll me an athletics check. So running up and dashing and then trying to jump and grab onto this thing and begin attacking from behind, totally viable, right? But what we're going to do is if you succeed, you're going to be on and you'll get advantage on attack. But it's going to try and shake you off, right? And if it succeeds, you're going to be knocked prone.
Totally fair. I rolled a 21 on
Nice.
my athletics check.
So Grenda leaps up from the ground and just immediately begins charging over. She jumps, she grabs onto this creature and pulls herself around and is on this thing's back. Grenda, what would you like to do?
I would like to use my war pick in the way that it is intended and try to split this thing's skull. That is a not a 20, 17 to hit.
A 17 to hit. That hits, yeah. And remember, you're rolling with advantage on your attacks.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay, nice. That hits. 11 points
And
piercing damage. I guess you knew that hits. That does the damage.
right in the skull, and because I action surge, that means I still get both of my attack actions. Okay,
Mhm.
excellent. Are they both at advantage or just
Yes.
the one? Okay,
Absolutely.
awesome. Again, 17 to hit with 11 points of piercing damage.
Nice. Yeah, awesome.
And yeah, so I'm just going to be picking away at this
Yeah.
skull, trying to split it.
This thing's solid and it's moving around it, but you're cracking down, taking chunks out of the bone and making really solid hits. As you hit it, you can see that you're almost digging out clumps of bone that kind of fall apart, as this is really just fragments stuck together. This isn't one solid piece. It's almost like a bone meal sculpture.
So
All right.
It's like Minecraft.
The thing tries to shake you off, and pull you out. So what I need for you to do is I need you to roll an athletics check, please.
That is a 16.
The thing begins pulling, and it stumbles, but it stumbles and catches itself really violently and quickly, and you are just flung down from the top of this thing off to the side, and you are now prone. The thing's going to try and attack you, and it's going to try and attack you. It's going to try and attack you twice. So it pounds its fists into Grenda, or attempts to. And I'm pretty sure neither of those hit. An 18 misses you, right, Grenda?
Correct.
So it begins smashing at the ground where Grenda lays, and she rolls to one side, then rolls to the other as it pounds deep holes into the earth where it smashes. You can feel the reverberations around you as it strikes. This is a truly powerful creature. With that, Brug, Hilda, and Drog come out as a unit, right, and just get up to this thing and stand in front of you and begin wailing away. Begin wailing away. Let's go, guys. All right. Only Brug is able to lay a hit on this thing, right? Like the rest of them, they're distracting it, but they don't do any significant damage. So I'm sorry, Gron, you're up. Gilborn, you're in the pipe.
Ron once again pushes himself off of the bone, but this time doesn't even slip. He's becoming an expert at righting himself from the bone pile. Moves forward about 10 feet and then uses that low dwarven center of gravity to just really brace himself. And I'm just going to take the dodge action. It's just making eye contact and surveying the battlefield and making sure I anticipate any incoming attacks.
Nice. Yeah, actually roll me a perception while you're at it, if you don't mind. Gil, you're up.
Alrighty. You said this thing was roughly, 20-ish feet away?
15 feet tall. Oh yeah, the 20 feet away.
20 feet away? Perfect. Just even before pushing off the ground, just basically going to, while pushing up with one hand, just run the gauntlets along each other, clattering the chains as they thrum to life with the and activating Blade Song. And then almost like a sprinter, just bolt up straight towards the thing. So using half my movement speed is 40, so should be able to just get up to it.
Yeah.
And then with one gauntlet thrumming with even more just thunderous air reverberating energy, I'm going to Booming Blade, try and punch it. I'm presuming with the height, punch it in the kneecap.
Okay. Yeah, so it's got these huge trunk-like legs, these 4 huge trunk-like legs. Each of them, they kind of go up, then tilt back in, and then go up in the torso like an insect leg, as its main body is kind of rides on that.
So I got 2
set of
kneecaps to
legs.
choose from per leg. Awesome.
Yeah.
And those
go-
kneecaps made of kneecaps.
Wow, caps on caps on caps. Let's see.
Kneecap
Do I
section.
hit natural 20?
Nice. There you go.
All right. That is going to be... Uh, 26 points of thunder damage.
Bam.
And
Give
if
me
it
some
willingly
give me some
moves-
description. I want to hear how this hits. So you're going to blow bits of bone apart.
Just storing some of that latent thunderous energy from earlier as it dissipates, just kind of converting or the lightning that we were struck with, converting that just into more thunder, and essentially channeling any of the reverberation from the gauntlet that's holding the wand just all into one massive punch. The air is just distorting around this left hook that's coming in, as it just careens right into the kneecap head on, just pushing the force of it from one kneecap to the other set of kneecaps.
Nice, yeah. So it begins to blow apart, and the creature stumbles briefly, but is able to right itself. So just to kind of go back through what we saw there, right? Like y'all were knocked to the ground, or y'all were mostly knocked to the ground with your dwarven colleagues being able to maintain their feet, right? As it emerged, the ground rumbled around it. This creature formed. Grenda took the initiative, leapt onto its back, and began attacking. Unfortunately, it was able to shake her off, and it tried and failed to, jam its massive clawed fists into her. Your companions surrounded, began attacking. Gil, you were able to get involved. Gron, you were watching. In fact, what did you get as far as perception? That was a 16, is that right?
16, yep.
Gron, as you're looking around at all this, you can see the figure shake and pulse with energy, and there is this wave that lashes out from it, and everyone can feel it buffet them, but it seems to go through harmlessly. But as you're watching, you can see some figures begin to emerge from the mist. Forms solidly begin to congeal, and a wave of these mist creatures come at you. Give me just 1 second.
It's like somebody aerosolized the river Styx.
Yeah, that's a great description, actually. It's a great description. It looks like 6 figures have emerged from the mist. 6 figures have emerged from the mist, these cloud-like forms, and they begin moving. Grenda, so you're on the ground. Once again, you've got this line of dwarves in front of you, between you and this creature, and you can see Gron is standing back and overseeing the battle. What would you like to do?
So how close are the line of creatures?
So you actually haven't seen them. You're
I didn't
focused
see
on
them. Okay.
your conflict, yeah.
So I will jump up and I'm like pretty close to the creature. It's
You're
like
very
right
close,
next to me.
yeah. It's 5 feet from you, so you're gonna have to move still to get to it, but not very far.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump up and scale its leg. I'm gonna use my war pick to just try and kind of climb up it a little bit and try to go for the throat. Its bony
Nice.
throat.
So you've got a good opportunity, if you like, to try and dash under this thing and get it right from below. In fact, it's got a solid opportunity. So if you make me an athletics roll, if you beat an 18, you'll be able to get in under there and roll with advantage. But once again,
Okay.
it's gonna try and knock you down while you're there.
I get knocked
Or it
down,
would have an
but
opportunity.
I get up again.
Oh no, they're never gonna keep you down.
That's a 21
Nice.
for my
Yeah, you hit.
athletics.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
great. So you're able to get under there. So you roll under the creature as it steps, and you find yourself momentarily standing under its form with its underbelly exposed. There's no soft underbelly here, as this thing is all bone, but you've got a good chance to hit it, while it has almost no chance to see you.
Awesome. Oh, that's really good. I mean, that was a natural 19, so close to a 20. For 10 points of 11 points of piercing damage.
Again.
And yeah, I don't know, I keep rolling that. And then much better damage this time. That's a 20 something to hit with 16 points of piercing damage.
16 points of piercing damage. Yeah, this thing is starting, like, you're going in there and you're just pulling chunks out. Gil blasted apart its knees, and then your friends managed to do their part also. It is starting to look rough. Like, it's not down, but it's looking rough.
Picking it apart.
Nice inspiration if you don't have it.
Yay. I will. So it can't see me when I'm under here, correct?
No,
Okay.
but it
I
could
was-
try and crunch down on you, right? Which it may do.
Fair. Yeah, I'll stay put here. I'll just. Can I grab onto its leg or something? Just
You're
just
under
like-
it, so you're pretty stuck, right? Like there's nowhere to, you know what I'm saying? Like there's nowhere to go should you do it.
Okay. I'll just stay here, and if it tries to stomp me,
All right.
we'll cross that
Give me
bridge.
an athletics check. So it does try to it immediately tries to collapse down its torso onto you. So give me an athletics check, please.
Very good. Why math? I rolled a 17 plus 8, so 25.
All right. So it tries to crunch down on you, but you're too fast. You easily step out of the way. You're now over beside Gil. This thing, however, is going to swing. Is going to swing twice at Gil. So turning and seeing you emerge from there, it goes for your good friend Gil.
Protection from good and evil.
So what does that means?
Disadvantage on attack rolls from fiends, fae, elementals, undead, aberrations.
All right.
Can't be possessed.
Does it?
Think
How does
like
it
good
might
stuff.
fall
how does a
into one of
21
those.
do?
Shield. It does not form an arcane barrier around myself.
Nice, good call. Yeah, so again, like it comes in and it's careening towards you with one of its claws, and your shield goes up and just stops the fist in place, and
Just
it can't break through. Yeah, nice. Another one comes in and tries to cut at you at the same time, but you're able to deftly jump back and avoid it. It didn't even land a hit.
It's 24 AC currently for future use.
Okay,
Until
great.
my turn.
Great. The dwarves did a lot better this time. They are chopping away at this thing. They're chopping away at this thing. You can see all of them land hits this time. All of them land hits this time, and really whittling it away. At the same time, these figures from the mist begin to emerge. And three of them move towards your line, and three of them move towards you, Gron. The ones that go after Gron, there's three of them around you.
That did the dodge action, and I did
Right.
see them.
Right. So that is a 15, and so I'm going to take it that's a miss. Three of them swarm around Drog at the end of your line, of dwarves. And they hit. So Drog, like as they form around them, they begin reaching in and touching Drog on his neck and in his chest, and you can see him begin to visibly get pale as he cries out, "Ah, fucking sons of," and starts cursing as Drog is wont to do. It is now Gron. Gil, you're in the pipe.
Gron pushes past the figures that are around him and charges towards the shambling giant bone creature.
Okay, they're gonna try and make an attack on you as you go
Bring
past.
it. As my armor of Agathis gleams in the ley line glow.
Yeah, they fail. And they're unable
Fine,
to touch
neither
you.
of us will take damage then. And I will swing my warhammer at the skeleton monster.
Okay.
First attack does a 10 hit.
No, it does not.
All right, second attack, and I'm going to go ahead and use inspiration. This is a 17 hit.
It does, yeah. You're able to connect with this thing.
All right, and I'm also going to use a level 1 Divine Smite.
Okay.
So it's going to take 6 from the Divine Smite, and it's going to take 12 from the melee attack.
Yeah, nice. You lay into this thing, and as you hit it, one of its legs breaks where you attack, and it stumbles, but it's still up now only on 3 legs.
And I think I'm gonna save it. That'll be my turn.
Gil, you go.
All right. With the wand in one of my hands, would I know if I have to keep a grip on it or if I can slide it into something and have it stay active?
You need to grip it. Yeah.
Alrighty. Pumping all the thunderous energy back into one solid fist it is then. And just gonna keep wailing on that same spot on the knee, just trying to shatter its leg. And that's gonna be not as good. That's a 14.
It does not hit. It moves just in time to avoid your blow. In fact, as Gron smashes out, ironically, as Gron smashes out one of its leg, its stumble moves the knee just outside of your reach.
I think that's about all I can do.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Let's go back. Let's go back to the top, right? So again, right, this time, Gron, watching, paying attention, saw some of these creatures, 6 of these strange things, these mist creatures emerge out of the mist. You know, now, Grenda, that you're able to see them, these are the same figures that you saw before being pushed back by your wand, but now very easy to see, actually, now that you see it, as they're buffeted by the wind from your wand, Gil. It defines them in a very straightforward fashion, right? So you now all have a good sense of where these bastards are. But they've come out and they've attacked, right? Surrounding Gron and attacking Drog. The rest of you continue to chip away at this large figure, and it is looking like it's on its, no pun intended, it's on its last legs. It's on its last legs. It stumbles and it puts its claws into the ground, and as it does so, it looks up and it emits this sound, this otherworldly scream, and you can see some of the spirits that seem to have made up the creature begin to fly out of its mouth, and there's this pillar of energy that begins to reach up from it and into the clouds. At the same time, as this pillar of energy begins to cast light and shadow down on this being, you can see emerging from that darkness under it, a number of shadowy figures begin to come out, actually, of that darkness. Give me just one sec. Number of shadowy figures come out of that darkness as four distinct shapes emerge. 4 distinct shadowy creatures emerge from underneath this thing. Y'all are in a deeply pitched battle. Grenda, you're up.
How many shadowy creatures are there total now?
So there's 4 of these shadow creatures, and there's 6 of these mist creatures.
Okay. So there's quite a few. And the bone creature is still standing, but
Still alive, but it's looking rough. Like, it's looking rough. In fact, it's got 2 of its claws on the ground, almost as if it needs them for support.
yeah, I want to finish this guy off. She's gonna look for a weak spot, and she's gonna go for it. She wants to knock this thing down, basically. So we'll see. Oh, that's very good. Gosh, why do I keep forgetting what hits? Okay.
It's a 15 to hit.
Oh, well, I rolled a 16. I can't
Right.
remember my bonus
Doesn't matter.
but that hits. So, that's excellent. That is 16 points of piercing damage.
All right, you hit it. It is stumbling. It is stumbling. It doesn't look like it could take another one of those.
Well, I'm gonna try anyway. Oh, that's definitely not as good. That's 11.
Total?
Yeah.
You miss, unfortunately.
So close. Okay.
Yeah, the thing rears up and it swings 2 arms down at Grug. Oh. The first comes down beside Grug. It looks like the thing is just unable to appropriately function. It's taken so much damage, and it just smashes its arm down into the ground beside him. Unfortunately, its other arm swings around and connects with Grug, the spikes digging into him deeply as it smashes him. Grug takes a solid hit and stumbles back.
Grug, no.
But yeah, he's still in it to win it. Yeah, so Drog is really unhappy about these mist figures. So Drog is gonna go in on the mist creatures. Drog is gonna go in on the mist creatures, and he's able to knock 2 of them down. All right. Hilda and Brug find themselves surrounded by these shadows, and they're both going for shadows. Okay, their weapons don't seem super effective, but they are going after him. All right, I'm sorry, Gron, you're up.
Gron, seeing the creature injured, also hopes to finish it off and swings his warhammer. And the first one just clangs onto a still solid part of the monster and takes the hammer back, but that gives momentum for a second swing. That's a critical hit.
Woo!
There you go.
There we go. That is a 1 plus 5 for 9. 9 bludgeoning.
Okay. All right. As your warhammer connects, do you want to describe the way you bring this thing down?
Just using that kind of reverberation from the first hit gives the extra momentum that Gron needs to just completely just knock that bone off, and with that last bit completely making the creature unbalanced, it falls and slowly starts to dissemble, like bones falling off of it, mixing in with the pile beneath of it.
Yeah, in fact, it leaves this large mound of bones where it was, and that pillar of light grows as more of these spirits begin twisting around and up, and you can see them evacuating their way up. It goes as far into the air as y'all can tell. You can see it past that covering of a cloud of mist. There is no doubt that anyone watching on the hilltop has seen this. Okay. Gron, Gil, you would be up, but I'm gonna do the shades first. So one more attacks. Drog. There we go. I forgot. And then 3 of them move over towards you, Gron, and make another attempt. And they fail. So 3 of them surround Gron, who's a bit on his own, and again try and get past them, but they are having no luck. You are far too fearsome for them to lay a hand on you. Gil, you're up.
All right. Is there any way that I could get a 15-foot cube effect off without hitting allies?
You could get two of those shadow creatures, or you could get the three figures that are around Gron, those three shades that are around Gron.
I'll rush up to there. I'll rush up to Gron, and then just similar to just throwing all that thunderous energy into that one gauntlet, but instead of punching for any of them, I'm just going to basically slam down and punch the ground right in front of them, and I'm casting Thunder Wave.
Mm-hmm.
So they will need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, two of them are absolutely blasted to bits. But one of them seems unaffected, or is able to weather that storm. One of those mist creatures.
Okay. We've got this. We're doing okay.
The shadows begin to move now. Their light source pulling away, their source of shade, they're now clearly visible, and they begin to attack. So one of them, or two of them, go for Grenda. Excuse me. Grenda, what's your armor class again? I'm sorry, I won't keep asking.
That's okay. It's 21.
Okay, they both miss. One's going to go for Hilda, and one is going to go for Brug. And yeah, y'all are some dense little folks, and nobody is able to lay a hand on you or a claw, which is good. So back at the top of the round, right? You have finally laid down this beast and destroyed it, right? Even though it was able to get a blow off on Brug. Unfortunately, once again, it managed to attract some additional creatures, and a wave of these shadow things appeared and came out. But you're now engaged in a serious battle with them. Grenda, Gron, Gil, you all did your parts. Gil, you blasted with a violent wave of thunder. You blasted apart two of these mist creatures. Still, there are two left. Now both of them looking at you as you've made a fair bit of noise for them. And yeah, we go to Grenda.
Grenda's just gonna look at Gron and kind of put her hand on her hip and say, "All right, so I do all the damage on Big Skelly, and you take the finishing kill blow." And
An opportunity to clean up your mess around there, and points at the shadows.
all right, she'll. Is there a way to like get in between Gil and the shadow creatures?
And the shades. So there's one of them by him and another that's moving towards him. So you could get to the one by him and be in the way of the other one.
I would like to do that.
Yeah.
And
Now you're going to take 2 opportunity attacks if you do that.
okay.
Yeah, they don't stand a chance. Y'all are
Okay.
dense little.
So I will
They both
attack that
miss.
one.
Yeah.
That's 18 plus a bunch of things.
That hits.
And
Shadows are 12 to hit, just so you're
okay.
clear.
And that is math is easy. 14
Okay.
piercing damage. And
Yeah, you're able to destroy it. There's still the one over by Drog, if you want to go get him.
yes, if I can, I will move over and just.
You have 25 feet of movement, right? Yeah, you're able to get to both of them.
I will swing. And wait, I forgot what you said. Does it
12.
12? That's what I rolled.
Okay, great. That hits.
And 11 points of piercing.
Okay. All right, you blast these things apart. As your pick comes through, they don't stand a chance, right? Like they just fade back into wisps of mist. You return them from whence they came. Your companions are going to town on the shadows. Your companions are going to town in the shadows, but it's clear that their weapons are not very effective on these creatures. It's clear that their weapons are not very effective on these creatures, and they begin chopping and attacking as they have been. I'm sorry. Gron, you're up.
Gron, noticing his companions' weapons being inferior and not able to harm them, and then looking at his own Warhammer and seeing that it doesn't have its glow right now, he's going to run by and just, come on, pick out someone your own size. And I just want to run past and take opportunity attacks from any of the shadows.
Yeah,
that I can get to.
they're all going to give it a shot. In fact, does a 21 hit?
It does.
Yeah. So one of them gets a good grip on you. You take 9 necrotic damage.
The armor that glows around him, like a flash of frost, comes up, and the glow of it dwindles down to where it's just barely still there. But then they're gonna take 10 frost damage.
Yeah, the one that reached out and touched you, you can feel it, you can see it reach into you as that frost begins to coalesce along that shadowy form. You can see it become brittle, but its fingers still make it to you, and you feel yourself become weaker as that shadowy touch steals 1 point of strength from you.
Pick on someone your own size.
And at the same time, that shadow, as your armor comes out and envelops it, it is destroyed. Yeah.
And then I will take the. Oh no! Then that was just movement, like because I didn't take an
Right.
action there. And then I will take the dodge action as I plant myself nearby my allies.
Okay, great. Gil. There's 3 of
Okay.
these shadows left. None of the shades.
For now, there's 3 of them. I'm just going to, using my 40 feet of movement, just absolutely zoom right over to them. And whichever one is closest to Brug, since he's been kind of the most, he took that big slam from the skeletal creature.
Mhm.
Whichever one's closest to him, I'll start with that one.
Okay.
I guess start and end with that one. I've only got the one. And once again, channeling that energy, keeping the wand, kind of safe and out of the way, just channeling all of that thunderous energy right into that one fist for a booming blade punch. That is going to be a dirty 20.
That hits.
Oh boy. For a total of 14 points of thunder damage.
Yeah. Again, your gauntlet comes in and this thing just blasts apart, just wisps of shadow disappearing around it.
I'm gonna have to change which hand I'm holding this wand in, otherwise left arm's gonna get too muscly in comparison to the right. Usually like to even her out
Nice.
if we survive.
Nice. Well, it's looking good for y'all. So top of the round, or actually no, not quite. The shadows move out. One of them attacking you, Gil. The other going for Hilda.
Obviously, we'll still have disadvantage.
Yeah, it's okay. It fails.
Good and evil.
It fails. So they both miss. So they reach out and try and touch you, but again, you're either heavily armored or too swift or too magically protected for them to get anywhere near you. So top of the round, right? What's happened here is you have defeated this large creature, this large bone thing, whatever came out of the mound, right? As you seemingly opened the second marker. At the same time, a number of creatures from the mist have begun pouring out, and they're shadow creatures that this construct managed to summon. Came into existence and attacked you, but you've now made short work of them. You're staring down only 2 remaining shadow creatures. And Grenda. it's your go.
That was the signal. I heard the signal.
Yeah, the signal. That's right.
Oh, the dog heard there was a bone creature.
Oh. I am going to rush over to the 2 remaining creatures. And just swing my war pick. That's a 15 to hit. That's correct. And that's 14 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
That's
It's
the
destroyed.
first creature. Okay,
Yeah.
so then I'll switch over to the second creature, and 17 plus lots of things to hit, and 16 points of piercing damage.
Yeah. Folks, congratulations. You have fought your way through the second marker. And with that, we're actually going to go to a little break, and we'll come back in 10 minutes. Okay? So, see y'all in 10 minutes,
Watch out
folks.
for bone creatures.
Yeah. Absolutely. Catch y'all later. All right, folks, and we are back. We are back. So if you missed the first half, let's actually just kind of give you a little bit. You're watching Heroes Die Show. This is the Best Left Buried miniseries by any means, and we're on episode 3 of our little mini arc. We have our heroes, Gil, Grenda, and Gron, the dwarves or dwelfs. Dwelf? You like dwelf?
Yeah. Oh,
Dwarfs or dwelfs that make up the protagonists of the Iron Hand Mercenary Company, refugees from the great and distant city of Uthadern, who have made their way south into the Empire for reasons of their own. So far this episode, our heroes have gone back out into the Barrowlands for their second tour. After their success the first time, they were told to push in further and open the second marker. As they did so, they found, going deeper into the mist, they found a field of bone. And in that field of bone, they accidentally set off a magical trap, which electric shocked a lot of them. And seemed to be the catalyst that opened that second marker, the large barrow in front of them that blew open and released a series of spirits, some of whom formed into this gigantic skeletal creation and began attacking them. And now we find ourselves in the aftermath of the battle. Grenda, Gil, and Gron. You are looking around now. You've taken some damage. Your companions, Hilda, Brug, and Drog, have all sustained some wounds. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Only Brug and Drog have sustained wounds. Hilda's still in great shape, and you are now left with a moment of peace. Although there's been a lot of activity here, so it seems likely that whatever you've done has been visible to those at the outpost on the hill.
Quick now, line up. Let's take inventory. And
Right.
I order everyone just to line up. And I want to assess the damage done to everyone.
Brug's the roughest of the bunch.
I'll start
Brug's
with
the
him
roughest
then.
of the bunch.
So yeah, just taking stock of who looks like they need it most. All right, I'm going to patch you up quick, but we got to keep moving. And I want to use some of my lay on hands pool, starting with most injured to least injured until I run out of points.
Okay, how much do you have?
25.
25. Okay, so you can heal Brug entirely with 15. And both Drog and Hilda are pretty close to full health already. So
I'm
you
down
could
20.
Okay, then starting with seniority, of course. I will drop. You said 20. I'll drop 20 points into Grenda, and then the final 5 into.
Were you injured in the fight, Grenda?
Yes.
The 20 points of lightning.
When I failed
Sorry.
Well, when you asked me that, I couldn't remember when it was from. But yeah, it was the failed.
But you succeeded your deck save, right? So it wouldn't have been halved, or is that?
I think I failed it.
Yeah, we'll take it at 20 and move
I'm
on.
pretty
Okay.
sure I
there.
failed it.
Regardless, then I'll dump 20 points into Grenda. I took some damage, but I'm fine. But I will dump 5 points into Brug. Brug, yeah. So I'll clear out my pool. All right, let's keep moving. For what that creature did to me, I feel like it made my armor maybe a little weightier, and my hammer seems to have some more heft. And you can just see that my strength is not what it once was. It's a little bit dwindled. But let's keep it moving then.
All right, so what's your plan? Are you continuing to push forward?
Yes, and I will cast Detect Magic. And then we will push forward, and I'll have some flags kind of at my hip ready.
Grant, should we check out to make sure that barrow's actually emptied out?
All right,
They
we'll
said
take...
open it, but I don't know what. Don't know if open means clear on that too.
We'll open it up and see what happens from there, but we at least need to get it open.
I think that, I mean, giant blast hole in the front of it, I think, is a good start.
Let's take a peek inside.
Gron, as you cast your spell, you can once again, see the absolutely pervasive aura of magic around you. Even the mist is glowing, as it is clearly its own magical effect. You see clearly those ley lines, which were semi-visible but kind of disappeared as you walked into the mist. You see them now very clearly visible. More and more bands of energy are coming together, and the deeper you get into the Barrowlands, the closer they seem to sync together. You do spot 3 more magical traps in the field of bones, that you can easily set off and mark, assuming you do.
Yes, and just say, one moment, I see something up ahead, and tell them to hang back where it's safe and make my way and try to mark them. How far away is like the furthest one?
The furthest one is right by the entrance to that barrow mound, probably about 40 feet away.
In which case, I'll say more like, keep a little back, but don't get too far behind me, and ask them to, stay like 15 feet back from me as I go first, just to make sure they don't trigger traps, and then as we make our way, marking the 3 traps.
No, make sure to keep them within the wind sphere that we've got.
Yeah. The wind sphere does make it fairly difficult to hear, but you do still hear the occasional clatter and movement in the Barrowlands around you, in those deeper mists. The further you get into the barrow, the thicker and heavier the mist is. Now looking at it, as you get to that wall of mist, you imagine that you wouldn't be able to see at all in there. It's so thick at this point.
With the wand going, even it just doesn't.
Without the wand, you likely would be blinded by these deep mists.
Keep that thing working.
Oh boy, am I ever. Not gonna let this stop.
You move towards that large barrow. The ground nearby, there's large rocks and other things that have been blown apart, and you see again, very similar to before, there is a structure. There's a door, in fact, a shattered door that looks like it was made entirely of stone. And inside the barrow, you see that old writing, that old stonework. Here, where you had chains in the last one, Gron, you can see layers and layers of glowing writing on the ground, magical inscriptions, and all along the walls are urns. Like every single wall is covered in shelves, and every shelf is covered in urns, at least 4 urns deep. There must be hundreds, if not, probably not 1,000, but a few hundred urns in here in this barrow. As you're looking, those that aren't Gron, you notice a big empty room with the urns. Except for in the center, there is a pile, like a big ass pile of treasure and other items. You see expensive looking jewelry, you see gems, you see gold, you see weapons, pieces of armor.
Do you still have detect magic?
Yeah, so Gron has that going, and so Gron, some of those things are definitely magical, but there are, all around the room, lines and lines of little magical inscriptions that you think may well be wardings or potentially even magical traps. A lot of them.
All right, this might be a little bit above our pay grade at this point. I think maybe we've successfully opened the barrow and marked the traps outside. I think maybe we head back and take stock, clean up the rest of our wounds.
That sounds like a good idea.
I'm feeling surprisingly good. Do we maybe want to see if we can make a good impression?
I know this might be an opportunity to win some favor, but I think that at this point we stick to the plan.
Okay.
I hear some clashing. I'm sure you do too. Coming from not too far around us. A walk back might not be a walk in the park.
Aye, that's fair. And some of those younger soldiers at the back of the outpost they didn't look too confident in themselves, eh?
I think that we're the adults in the room.
Let's not press our luck. We should just go back while we're still walking.
I suppose. Longer trek out's just a longer dragging back if one of us gets taken down.
She'll give you a significant look.
Didn't say it was going to be me. It probably would be, but I mean, might not.
Gil and
At least-
Gron, you both feel a sense of unease coming over you. Gil, you feel something in the back of your mind, something strange. Like there's a presence. There's a presence. Actually, can you roll me a charisma saving throw, please?
If it's trying to possess me, and it hasn't been 10 minutes,
Yeah, go
then
ahead.
I am unable to be possessed. So, let's see. Total of 0.
Nice.
Natural 1 minus 1 for the charisma save.
You begin to hear, Gil, whispers in the back of your mind. Do you wish to know more, Gil? Do you wish for power, Gil? Would you like to understand, Gil?
I do like to understand things, aye.
There
Not so
is
sure about
there
the
is a
power.
raspy voice talking to you. You can hear it. You can hear it very clearly. Actually, it's quiet, but it's there.
Are you replying out loud? Okay.
Absolutely.
Grenda's just gonna look at you.
Don't you hear that?
You hear what?
There's power for you here, Gil.
Somebody saying there's power for me here.
Get it together then.
I suppose I should, but I don't.
Come, Gil. Don't be daunted.
I prefer a research lab rather than power, but I mean, you got gold.
I don't like the
think
look
it's-
of this. She's gonna look over at Gron.
The voices
I
make a
see.
lot of promises.
I think we should get him out of here. And I'll like put my arm on his back and kind of give him a firm shove in the direction away from the open barrows.
Are you sure we should leave? I mean, there's something.
I think we need to keep it moving then.
But
Grenda will just grab his arm at this point and just bodily drag him.
Think about what happened the last time you followed a voice, promise, and power, Gil.
hey, we were exiled from our homeland, and then we ended up in this situation here. So
And I promise you nothing but more treachery, so just keep it moving then. And give him another firm shove.
Take inspiration, everybody. That was fantastic. Double inspiration for you, Gron.
hell yeah.
You only get one, but still. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Okay. So y'all are gonna start heading back?
Yeah.
Yeah, you start heading back. Once again, something is agitated out there. You can see figures, those mist figures, pushing at the edges of your air bubble. And in fact, they're starting to get in closer and closer. They begin pushing through and getting pushed back by the wind, almost as if they are trying to get in deeper. The lot of you kind of close in a little bit so that these things can't quite get at you. As you're moving, before you clear the mist, You can see now it's getting a little bit lighter. You can see some figures looking like some large armored figures moving towards you. In fact, you can hear a little bit of clanking of metal, like heavily armored folks are coming towards you. Anything
Say
you wanna do?
large. Do you mean like above 10 feet?
Large human sized.
Oh, okay.
Large humanoid sized. Nothing. Keep
Oh.
moving. Sorry.
All right, we hear them coming. Where we're headed, the outpost at least. The Falcons aren't there, correct?
No,
so if we
they're
have
up the
something
hill.
on our tail, and at the outpost at least, right?
Right.
We gotta clear into the outpost. Let them chase us there. We have reinforcements. Keep it moving quick.
Something is coming from the direction of the outpost towards you.
I think I would just call out, like, hail. Who's there?
Your voice call back. Thorn Darkwater. Is this the Siren Hand?
Oh, I
Captain
think that's
Gron
us.
there.
Yes.
Excellent. They walk forward, and you see 4 heavily armored knights, righteous brand soldiers with their armor on. These guys are wearing full plate. They've got halberds. They're looking ready to go. And in the midst of them is Thorn, the half-orc man, carries the rapier, and he comes down again, still looking prim and proper, even down here in the Barrowlands. And he goes up to you. He goes, excellent, Captain Gron. The rest of you, good to see you. I see you were able to open the second marker.
It seemed to have opened itself when some bone monsters seemed to crash out of the thing. But yes, we defeated the monster, placed some traps there. Taking a peek inside, I did notice that there's... Let's just say you might want to have someone who knows how to detect magic around, because the place was booby-trapped. Lots of old, dangerous magic. So watch your step, watch the flags, and there's a bit of a rough patch with a bone pile that you might be walking through, so watch your step.
Well, luckily for me, I don't intend to stay. I have orders from the Archmage.
All right, get on with it then.
So I know what I'm saying. The Archmage has she's encountered a bit of a hiccup with the ritual. We need you to find something like this, and he hands you a little drawing. He hands you a little drawing. Because there'll be a symbol like this, and it's a series of 3 lines that form a triangle, and within there is a kind of forked looking set of jagged lines that look a bit like a trident, but things off it at weird angles. And he goes, you'll need to find a symbol like this. There's a problem with the ritual. We need to find the Archmage says that there'll be in one of the intersections of the ley line, there'll be a plaque with this symbol carved into it. She says the symbol will be in gold. It may be a little hard to find, but look for the places where the ley lines intersect. She needs you to find it, and then you have the wand, and he looks at you, Gil.
Still active. Got it right here.
Use the wand to signal when you find it.
What do we do when we find it?
You are told to wait and hold there. The red snakes and the red snakes and the silver talons are also moving out into the Barrowlands. You're instructed to find it, or if you see either of them set off their flare, move towards them, we must find and hold this site. It is of critical importance that we do it now.
Take a deep breath. All right then. About face, I suppose. And
The Archmage says she expects this. She expects us to be complete. She expects, due to the ritual, she expects that if we find this spot, we won't have to go longer than tomorrow dawn at the latest. The lights, we're almost out of here, okay? Do your duty, find the symbol, or go to one of the others and help them hold it.
all right, and if we're almost done here, and we help you make the big final push, I suppose there's some sort of bonus we can talk to the Archmage about. We just got here. We've only gotten a couple days worth of pay.
The Archmage says whoever finds the symbol, the plaque, will get 1,000 gold bonus.
You heard the man. Let's go back.
Let's do it. All right.
Good luck. And they turn and head out.
Yeah, and we'll turn around, get back into formation, and then start marching back the way we came.
Yeah, it's a dramatic moment. Yeah, so you begin heading back out into the mists. You begin heading back out into the mists, and again, you can see places where ley lines intersect along your path. You can see places where ley lines intersect along your path, but no clear sign. So I'd like y'all to give me a sense of how you want to go about searching the Barrowlands. And Grund, for reference, how long does the detect magic spell last?
I believe, let me just look. It lasts for 10 minutes.
So at this point, you would have been walking back at least 10 minutes. So you're gonna need a new one as you go, if you're gonna use it again, out there deeper into the mists.
At least I wouldn't use it right away. You said that the ley lines are at least vaguely visible without using a spell.
Yes.
So I would try to be tracking just how they are regularly, sans magic. And then when I got to where I thought the first one intersect, I would start there casting this spell.
Okay. Yeah, so there was an intersection not far from that barrow that you went to. So I'd like y'all to give me a sense, and we're going to do this in kind of like a dynamic skills use way. So I want y'all to kind of go through and tell me what are we doing either magically or with our particular abilities to help try and find this intersection.
Gil would probably just having a semblance of knowledge of the arcane and various rituals and such, trying to think of the geometry of that symbol and where it would make sense in relation to the point of origin for the ritual. Kind of get an idea of if this was just a giant arcane circle, where would a symbol like that make sense to be?
Yeah, great. Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. What are the cards? Come on. That is okay. It's not fantastic. 15.
All right. Yeah, so you've got a good sense based on what you can see of the existing ley line. So Gron, you get to the point where you're ready to cast the spell. Gil, you have a really good idea of some key places to look. So it will be within that second barrier, that second marker. So essentially, you've got rings of barrows, and each ring of barrows seems to correspond to a layer within the Barrowlands, right? Like as in a almost like this is a ring of concentric defensive circles, right? Meant to hold something in or keep something out, right? So you expect that they will be between the second and the third ring. This conjunction. So there'll be a lot of ley line conjunctions between the second and the third ring. So you think that's where you need to be searching?
Don't want to get a
or
bit
first and
closer
second,
in.
depending on how you count. If the outside is the third, that's between the first and second. If the outside is the first, then second and third.
The two innermost layers.
Yes, there we go. Thank you. Or the second innermost layer. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Gonna want to get a little bit closer in there. There's gonna be a lot more intersections there, and it's a bit more sense for a symbol of that geometry to be closer to the center. And the
All right.
outside is more rounded ones usually.
All right, then I'll hold off on casting until we get a little closer to where you think it might be. Just give me the word.
well, so you're at that spot now, whereas now is the good time to start looking. And you
All
can
right,
hear
then.
more folks moving out in the mist, and you can hear some fighting. Like it sounds like some of the other folks have gotten into it now.
All right, I'll cast Detect Magic, and his Warhammer glows like a gold, and then his eyes glow a similar gold to match it, and then both fade, and that vision comes online.
If you'd like to use a perception check with your detect magic, you can do it at advantage.
All right. 7.
Yeah. You're looking through, but you're having trouble getting to spot. So you wander out into the mist a little bit. There's starting to be a lot of traps out here. And actually off in the distance, you hear an explosion, and you can see some flame probably 400 feet off to the north, as something has triggered some sort of magical trap. But you see a lot of traps, and you're kind of now lost a little bit in where you need to be.
I tell you, that was almost worse than not doing anything at all. There's so much magic out here that I think there's more magic than bones. And just like glowing dots from all the traps and all that, just kind of distracting Gron.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of traps. I mean, there's a lot of bone here. There's gonna be a lot of traps. If there's
It's-
more.
It's not pretty.
Brenda.
Just keep
Can
your eyes
Brenda
peeled.
use her survival skills to try to navigate the
So you've gotten
terrain?
out into a pretty unwelcoming seeming place, right? There's a number more of those stone pillars around you, and you can hear figures moving in the mist not far. So what you can do is use your survival to try and get yourselves back into the slightly less hazardous parts of the trail, especially with what Gron's able to tell you.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
I've done that. Oops.
I'm really glad I used my inspiration because I rolled a natural 1 and an 11 for 16.
All right. You can see as you're going, right? You kind of creep up. You get a sense of how you're moving, and you get the impression. In fact, listening on the ground, you feel like there's some places where the ground is somewhat hollow. There are ghoul pathways underneath the ground, and you can hear some scurrying and some moving throughout them. But you wait, and you keep your group from moving as a bunch of scurrying goes by, and you're able to avoid some of the main areas that the ghouls seem to travel along. You're back out into kind of the main area. Gil, what do you want to do?
Oh boy.
You've got a general sense of a decent direction. You can, in fact, Gron, you're able to point out a couple ley line intersections nearby if you'd like to try and narrow it down or start searching one.
Yeah, I'll point him out. And see something up ahead, over here. Follow me.
Yeah. And I don't know what I would. I don't know if I've really got much that could be helpful, except for just helping to investigate potential areas.
Okay, do you want to do that? Do you want to search one of the ley line intersections?
Yeah. I'll use my inspiration on this just in case. It's a good thing I used that. Way better. That is going to be what's that investigation? 19 total.
All right. This spot does not have one of the plaques, or in fact, it does have a plaque, but the symbols don't match what you're looking for. However, Gron pointed out a second ley line intersection, and you've got a pretty good feeling about it. Gron, your go.
Gron's deity is all about force and is what gives him his magic powers. Gron's just gonna pray that it's correct, and for protection from evil, can I do religion and just try to invoke my deity's blessings to guide us to safety?
You're going to meditate, try and feel the spiritual connection with your god, and you're going to try and get guided on to where you want to go?
Yes.
Yes, you may. It is a little bit unorthodox, so we're going to increase the difficulty a little bit, but give me
All
a
right.
go.
In that case, I will use my inspiration as I too pray to the deities that this roll is successful. For nat 1 and a nat 2, 4.
No.
Running on blind faith.
There
oh
is
no.
no god down in the Burrowlands.
He doesn't come down here. It's not a good place.
Yeah, you're on deeply unholy ground, unfortunately, Gron. Your connection to your god is, you don't just not feel inspired. You feel actively disconnected. Disconnected and down, right? Like this is actually a really unnatural and unholy place, and you don't belong here. You don't
Ron,
belong here.
opens his eyes from the meditation and almost looks like he's gonna get sick for a moment, and then just says, "I don't like the feeling of that at all. Let's hope it's up ahead."
Grenda, there are things moving out in the mist. As Gron stumbles, you can see more of these mist creatures begin to pull more deeply into the envelope around you. You see Brughilda and Drog stepping out and taking swings on occasion as they get too close. Their weapons passing through these forms out in the mist, and you can begin to hear the rattle and clank of skeletons.
Oh no.
In fact, now that you're looking, there may be some bigger things out there in the mist. What do you want to do?
Oh no. Can I just while they're looking, the magical people are looking for the magical stuff, can I just use my strength to hold the line against the creatures in the mist?
Well, you do start to see some fairly large figures out there. One thing you could do is you could try and dash out and make some noise and then move back in hopes that, being swift, you might be able to divert some of these things off your trail. However, you're concerned that if you fail, you'll instead lead them right back to your group. It looks like there may be two really large skeletal figures out there.
Oh no.
Megalodons.
I guess I gotta go for it. I
All
will
right.
give it a try. Is this... can I use athletics for this?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good. Oh.
No, don't say that.
Okay, math. That's +8, and I rolled a 9, so 17. Yes.
All right. You see out there in the mist, you see these two gigantic, armor-covered skeletal creatures. As you run, Gil and Gron, you can see their eyes burning bright as they've just about come into your bubble, turn and look after where Grenda went as she just runs out into the mist. They begin charging out in her direction, and you can see them running off. Not long after, you keep moving, and you come upon Grenda, who is just ducked down behind a rock and has waited as these creatures passed her by. Gil, it's all on you. You see the last point where Gron had pointed out a ley line intersection. It's right there. It's right there in front of you. Give me some investigation. See if you can find a thing here.
Would I be able to argue a case for? Because this is all stonework, right?
Yes. Well, it's
Would I be
stone
able to
or
argue
metal,
with-
so the plaque is either on stone or metal.
I have Smith and Mason's tools. Perhaps historically, where a glyph would be in such a configuration of stone and metal.
I'm going to need an investigation. That's the most
fair. All
reasonable
right.
one here.
I was reaching. Investigation. How will an 8 do for you?
An 8 total.
Yep.
You're looking, and as y'all are digging, you see out there in the mist a flare go up as somewhere off in the distance someone else has found this plaque.
All right,
That-
let's do a job then. Get to moving. Follow the
You
flare.
can see a light slowly sinking down.
What if this? What if the right one's right here, and that's just they're in trouble or something? It's 1,000 gold, God, fuck.
Well, there's nothing that says that they survived the entire time to turn it in. Let's just get there and see what remains. We're not the only thing or only person that would have seen that flare, so I imagine there's probably company heading towards them.
Morbid, but not wrong. All right, yeah. There's, I guess, unfortunately, still hope.
We want to be there when whoever arrives, eh? Let's move.
That's true. Yeah.
All right. You begin heading over. Are we double timing? What are we doing? You're probably gonna need to double time if you want to get there by the time the flare's out.
Yes, and to make the most use of detect magic that I can. That's still left. So we want to move quickly while I can still see the traps easily.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and there's a bunch in here, right? Like this central area is not nice space. Is not nice space to be in. You begin going as you get closer. You see more of these pillars, right? And they're significantly taller, right? Some 30, 40 feet high, and you find yourselves coming up to a large, like almost a line of these big pillars, almost like a big box shaped by these pillars. As you cross the line, there are old somewhat wrecked stairs that go down probably about 10 feet, and there's this big flat kind of paver stones area, and it seems like the flare went off in the center of this. You can see another bubble of clear area ahead of you where the mist has been pushed out of the way.
Let's keep it moving.
You go in and you find none other than Captain Zhang and the Red Snake mercenaries. It looks like there's frigging 30 of them out here. There's a whole huge crew. Here. You also, Alara is there, and she's wielding that wand as they're standing around. And in the center, there is a little pedestal, and you can see on the pedestal a black metal plate with in gold that symbol very clearly on it.
Just gonna look over toward Alara and just almost like raise the wand, almost like you cheers a drink.
Yeah, she nods at you, gives you a smile. Captain Zhang looks you. Ah, Captain Gran. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. I see you found this thing all right. You always were good at finding stuff, aren't you?
I am lucky to be surrounded by talented people.
Aye, now we just gotta hold this spot until whoever comes, I suppose.
Indeed. Indeed. I am afraid that we will not be alone very long. My men have found some trouble with the undead already.
Aye, seems to be a lot of them out here. And I imagine that beacon you just set off couldn't have been quiet. It's got to rouse some attention.
I can't imagine it can help very much. Perhaps you could hold the south end of the platform.
All right then. You heard him. Let's head that way.
One of the 4 cardinal directions. Got to be worth at least 250, right?
And as they're walking, Grana is just counting all of the people. I don't think 1,000 gold goes too far when you split it that many ways. But then again, I imagine there might not be that many standing by the time that the gold arrives.
Yeah. So as you get to the south end of the platform, again, the rest of it disappears in your mist. Once something steps out of your mist bubble, it's pretty gone. You can kind of see the pillars, but it's hard. Honestly, the mists are so thick. Ahead of you, as you get to the south end of the pillar, you see more figures coming towards you, more armored humanoid figures moving out of the mist. They look like they're moving in a very solid formation.
Here we are then. Over here.
Yeah, as you call out, you can hear the tromping of boots and armor. And stepping out of the mist, you see an armored figure. But as you look a little bit closer, it is only the armor. There is nothing inside. There is an open helm, and this creature holding a large two-handed sword, or this suit of armor holding a large two-handed sword, points at you, and the armored figures around it swarm out and begin moving your way. You are under attack.
Oh no!
Oops.
How did that-
Here we
Is
are.
I think they they stole my ideas. I had blueprints for something like that.
All right, let's roll some initiative, folks.
Oh boy, here we go.
11.
All right.
4.
Oh no!
What is it with you folks in your rolls, man?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the gods.
I got
the
a
gods
14 in
have
there,
forsaken me
so-
down here.
Say again?
I got a 14.
All right. Okay, so the figures begin moving towards you. Get this right. The figures begin moving towards you. The one in the lead runs out towards you, Gron, and with its two-handed sword, it begins swinging down at you. Swinging down at you. So let's go. So that is a 23 and an 18.
Both hit. Quick question: has it been over an hour since our last combat?
It's right on the cusp. It has not been over an hour, but you don't have 5 minutes or more than 5 minutes.
No, that's fine. It'll go away with this hit, but the first hit will do 10 damage for Armor of Agathis, and that'll
Okay, great.
The frost shatters with that, but both of those do hit.
Okay. You take 18 points of slashing damage as it cuts at you with its sword.
Oh,
Gil, you're up.
Okay. Oh boy. I am going to use one of my second level spell slots. Not entirely sure, but just assuming that these are spirits possessing armor, protection from good and evil, just to give me that little bit of safety as I just kind of basically slam my fist onto my chest and all the runes on the armor light up.
Nice.
I really have a bonus action I can do after that. That'll be me. Yeah. Protection.
Okay.
That's it. Yep.
You cast the spell and you're done. Your dwarves form a line. Again, they step up Gron beside you. You've got Hilda and Drog to your left, Brug to your right, and now all of you four are in this solid line, and they begin chopping at that creature. Chopping, smashing, and picking at this form. It is densely armored. And only Drog is able to lay a fist on it, or in this case, a hammer blow on it. And again, it doesn't seem particularly effective, as this thing seems to shrug off most of the damage. So the hammer clangs against it, but the creature seems to spring back without much trouble. These suits of armor, not carrying weapons, just bare fists, begin stepping up. Two of them are going to swing at you. Gron. Two of them are going to spring at you. Two of them are going to go after one's going to go after Hilda, two of them are going to go after Brug, and one of them is going to try and circle around and come towards you, Grenda. So, Gron, 22 hit?
yes.
You take 3 bludgeoning damage. You see one of them connects solidly with Brug. One misses Hilda, and 2 go after Drog. One of them gets a good punch on Drog. And one of them comes after you, Grenda. Both miss. Yeah, they don't get anywhere close to you. You're able to easily knock its blows aside. All right, Grenda, you're up.
So there's one.
There's one on you. So you got your 4 of your companions have formed a wall and are just holding these suits of animated magical armor back, right? One of them's cleaving away at Gron, and the others are just kind of stand there punching. Your people are starting to take some licks, but they're standing and fighting. And one's come around and has tried to attack you.
And there's a big one, right?
It's not bigger, but it looks like it's in command of the others.
The leader. But that's not the one that's attacking me. right
No.
now. I will just take on the one that's attacking me. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And just swing my skull crusher and right on top of the head. Oh no. That's a 10.
That misses. And again, these are suits of armor, so they're fairly hard to
Right.
damage.
Okay, well, the first one misses, but she's just gonna go at it again. Oh no. That is a 13.
Okay. 13, that misses. Gron,
Oh no.
Gron
you're
is
up. The
going-
battle is joined.
All right. Grant calls out, "All right, we got some goons over here," trying to gather the folks that are back towards the glyph. And then I'm gonna take a mighty swing at the one that hit me
Yeah, the one that's kind of like a leader.
for a critical hit. Yeah,
Nice.
for the leader. 4 plus.
It's literally all or nothing with your
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
attacks.
absolutely.
So that's 9 bludgeoning damage for the first attack.
Okay. Non-magical, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But this one might not be. I'm gonna take another swing. But it's gonna go wide as I don't manage to connect with it the second time. Rolled an 8.
Yep. Yeah, so one of them, you get it solidly, you knock it on the helmet twists around, and you see it just rotate back as it turns to face you.
So it seemed that it bounced back from that hit quicker than I would have anticipated.
Yeah,
probably.
it seems like your weapon isn't as effective as it should be.
Okay, I'm gonna cast magic weapon for my bonus action.
Nice.
So, seeing that, I grip the hammer and it starts to glow, and then just narrow my eyes at it, and that's my turn.
Nice. Okay, so last round, some creatures came out of the mist. You hoped they were friends, but instead it was a bunch of animated armors, and they just came and got at it. Y'all formed a line, held them back, but they are beginning to attack and wear down some of your allies. And in fact, that one with the sword, the one that you hit, Gron, it comes for you twice more. And you are able to easily fend it off. It in fact slips and falls to one knee as it tries and swings for you, but it was so off balance that it's down now on one knee. Gil, you're up.
All right. Just
Your
rubbing the chains
friends are
together.
engaged. Grenda's got the
Yeah.
one that got around the line pinned, and you now have your dwarven wall of flesh and steel in front of you with a wall of just steel behind them or past them.
So I've got a choice of who am I going to protect.
An
Right
extremely
now, I-
metal situation. Sorry, I had to.
Ooh. That's okay.
Flesh and steel.
We're about to use these guys as steel drums. So I'm going to just rub the chains together, activating the blade song, just that thrumming of thunderous energy. And I'm going to rush towards the two that Brug is engaged with.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Great. So you'll get the one on the end of the line by Brug.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just going in, same verse as all the others, just going to give it a good thunderous punch, focusing all the energy right into it.
Nice.
That is a 15 to hit.
15. No, it does not hit.
Damn. Just
Little
fist
taste
just
of our own medicine.
Yeah, right. Bunch of tanks getting tanked on. Just the force almost reverberates back. It's just, all right. Not head on. Go for a weak point. Got it. That's me.
Okay. Okay, so you see Brug trying to deal with the two that are on him and not having a lot of luck as they both seem to get past them. Drog, on the other hand, manages to land a solid blow on one of them, crunching in part of the armor. Hilda, with the most luck out of the group, Hilda, with the most luck of the group, does manage to sink her war pick twice into one of these figures, ripping off a shoulder pauldron that just goes clattering around to the ground. Gron, as you called out for help, it sounds like there's a lot more fighting starting to happen around you, and you can see some eruptions of magical energy out into the mist, but it's really hard to see. It sounds like there's a very intense battle going on. The suits of armor begin to attack. The suits of armor begin to attack. One landing a blow on Brug. Getting him right across the face. His nose crunching down as it seems to break under this fist. By you, one of them attacks Hilda twice. Not able to get her, and then two for Grenda. Grenda, they don't come anywhere near you, and then 4 blows rain down on Drog. One catches him on the shoulder and staggers him, and then the next, as it does it, it just straight Captain Kirks him and brings 2 hands down. 2 hands down against him, almost knocking him entirely over. Brug is getting absolutely friggin' hammered here. Grenda, your go.
Was that Brug or Drog? Sorry.
Drog. I'm sorry. Drog got absolutely cranked on here.
That does.
That's
make
the
a
technical
difference.
term. Cranked on. Yeah. It's the old DM term.
Before my time.
What's the etymology of it?
I'm still engaged with. Am I engaged with like 3 now or
Just one.
just 1? Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of look at this guy and try another tactic. I will swing, like at his lower half instead. Oh, the tactic worked. That is a 25 to hit.
That hits.
Great.
You think they're about AC 18, if you were to guess.
Okay. 6 plus. Why do I keep forgetting what my plus is? 12
A
damage.
12 to hit? 12 does not hit.
No, 12 damage. Sorry.
Oh, 12 damage. Great.
And then for the second, a natural 19 plus things. For 10 damage.
10. Nice. It's looking brutalized. So you come in there, you hit it with a pick, you pull out a large chunk of armor, you go in again, and you take the helmet off, right? Like the figure is just now loose piece of armor, but it's still up.
There's nothing inside. It's just
Just armor.
animated armor. All right. Okay, that's my turn.
Gron.
Gron, with his glowing hammer, is going to swing at the quote-unquote leader one again.
Yeah, you can see it. It is actively ordering these other ones around. It's a miss, unfortunately.
17. It is a +1. All right. I will swing again after the first one collides into the armor but doesn't manage to make a crunch, and I'm going to burn my inspiration on this hit. 22 hit.
22 hits. So you can see as you're coming at this thing, you can see that there's actually a spirit within this armor, right? Unlike the others, which are just kind of loose animated pieces, this thing is clearly something more, right? It clearly something more. But yeah, 22 hits.
All right, and that's for 12 damage.
Okay.
And it is magic this time because I have magic weapon going.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and use level 1 Divine Smite to add just a little bit of extra juice on this one, so it's gonna take. Does it count as undead? Or
It
a
does not,
fiend?
no.
Okay, so it's gonna just take 2d8 extra, which is 4 plus 6 for a total of 10 damage on top of that. Also magic, radiant damage.
Yeah, it's looking bad, and you notice as it stumbles, you see some of the other constructs seem to stumble a little bit with it.
Oh, how do you like that then? And that's my turn.
All right, top of the round. It is an intense knockdown, drag out fight as some of your friends are beginning to get significant damage done to them, and it is blow for blow against these suits of armor, against these floating suits of armor. You hear some fighting, and actually out in the mist ahead of you, you can see some figures begin to emerge now, back past that part. You can't see them; they haven't quite walked through the mist yet, but there is something back there, and there is fighting. Sorry, forward of you, there is fighting and something coming just on the far side of where these suits of armor came from. So that creature in front of you, the one that you hit, it lashes out at you again, Gron. Two brutal swings. One of them, yeah. So at 23 hits.
Oh yeah.
So it slashes you once for 9 damage, and then as you stumble back, it steps in, hits you with a pommel strike, and cuts you as you stumble back. That's another 18 points of damage. Or I'm sorry, no, that was wrong. That's another 13 points of damage. Pardon me, another 13 points of damage.
I'll be
You're gonna
honest,
come back with a high
at that
number.
point it doesn't matter, as Gron's weapon, the glow dims as the concentration's broken and he falls down limp.
No.
So it cuts Gron. It cuts Gron so badly across the upper chest and neck that you see blood spray out from him, and he falls down. Gil, you're up. What would you like to do?
Boy.
Gil, roll me an Arcana check, please, before you do anything.
Okay. Yeah. That is 17.
There is a magical connection between this leader, this one with the sword, and the others. You notice that they stumbled as this thing stumbled. If you were willing to take an opportunity attack, or in fact 2 opportunity attacks, you could get around and get at that leader.
That's exactly what I was thinking of doing. Mainly just to help our fallen leader, but this would be another happy little strategic benefit. Just gonna lock eyes with Brug for a second. I gotta go help him.
He just nods, spits some blood.
Don't die.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna do my best to just back away.
2 of them swing out at you, but are unable to lay hands on you.
Yes.
You've got a clear shot at this bastard.
I am rushing over to the big lad. Crazy idea. One clarification question. Sending a flare, is that an action or a bonus action?
Bonus action, I guess. Why not?
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right.
I mean, bonus action with confidence. It's a bonus action. Gil.
Excellent. Then, in that case, rushing over, basically jamming the wand toward its head and trying to shoot a flare inside its helmet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why not? Roll me an attack roll with your magical
Okay.
attack.
Okay. Not great. That is going to be a 10.
A 10. No, it doesn't. So you jam at it, and it just goes right past and shoots off. This bright light goes shooting off past the thing, and again deeper into the barrel lands. This time at a sharp angle, as they're generally intended to shoot up.
Yeah. And then hopefully that distracted him enough, even though it probably didn't, that I'm then going to go straight for a gut punch.
Give it
Just
it to
channeling
him.
all the thunder in with the booming blade. Ooh, that's not too bad. That's a 25.
That hits.
Oh boy, hot diggity dog. That's going to be 11 plus 3, 14 points of thunder damage. As he has disadvantage on anyone but me. And depending on what creature type he is, maybe also disadvantage against me.
Yeah, so
And if he moves, he takes thunder.
the thunder cracks into him, and you can see it reverberate through him. As it does, you see that same reverberation seem to go through all those other animated armors, but it is still up.
Okay.
It is still
Not
up.
taking
Hilda,
anyone down.
sorry. Hilda, seeing Gron go down, Hilda's going to take her swings instead of at the one that she was hitting. She's going to try and hit this guy, and does manage to finally lay a blow on it. But it is still up, standing over Gron. The others all take their turns cleaving in. With Brug finally landing a blow. Finally landing a blow. I can speak. And Drog continuing to wail away on the one that he's been taking down. The suits of armor. So, again, right? Two of them go after Brug. He takes another hit, but he's up. Two of them go after Drog. And he's able, again, just ducks behind his shield as their blows rain down on it. One of them denting significantly part of his shield as he managed to evade getting any more damage. One of them comes after you, Grenda. And the other goes after Hilda. All right. So they're hammering down blows, but y'all have survived through it. Well, mostly. Grenda, you're up.
Okay, so seeing this commotion over there, Grinda will rush over with a war cry, and I'm guessing she'll take at least a couple of attacks.
So you'll take
of
them. So
opportunity.
you've got two options, right? You could go around. So what's happened is Gil's gone around the back of the line and has come in behind this creature, right? There's also still the spot where Gron's body is, and so you could again, if you're willing to use one of your attacks as a grapple, you could pull him back and step into his spot.
Definitely want to.
That being said, the one that engaged with you, it could come around and get him next turn.
Oof. I'll risk it for the biscuit and drag Gron out of the way and attack this leader dude.
Okay.
Natural 19 to hit. 8 piercing damage.
You swing your war pick down at this suit of armor. This thing who still has Gron's blood dripping off its blade, who's been stunned by Gilborn. Do you want to describe how you kill this thing?
Yeah, just with a war cry, she's just angry. She just raises the war pick and brings Skull Splitter down and splits this helmet in two.
Yeah, your pick busts in, jamming a path through the helmet, and then rips the rest of the way through, and the whole armor goes clattering to the ground. This figure, the spirit inside of it, you see it again do that. So what you saw that bone construct do? The spirit whips around and begins going up, and as it does, you see the suits of armor around you just clatter down to the ground. Just clatter down to the ground, and we find ourselves temporarily out of combat.
Miranda will just pick up Gron and yell to the others to fall back. And
I've got him. I've got him. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level on Gron.
nice.
That is not too shabby. That's gonna be 14 points of healing.
Nice.
Down to my last spell slot of the day.
What happened?
You were napping again while you were fighting?
Oh, well, did you guys at least do your jobs then?
Aye, that we did.
Right.
Took him down.
Everyone all right? Everyone else standing?
We are.
So far,
Ah.
Hilda killed all of them in a single blow.
Aye, I guess she's gunning for your job then. How does officer sound? And just kind of laugh as I get up and dust off my armor, and again, it's not helping at all. Pick up my warhammer. Just... Is everyone
Hilda
else?
spits.
Everyone else? How is everyone else doing? And I'll try to look back.
As you go to assess the situation, you're leaning up. You see that combat ahead of you begin to push back, and there's at least 6 skeletal warriors stepping backwards. Their backs to you. As you look, and figures begin to emerge from the far side. It is more mercenaries coming and fighting their way in. You assume that this is the Silver Talons.
All right, just like they have friends, it looks like we have some ourselves. Let's hold the point. Don't fall back yet.
You're able to, with a little bit of effort, you can crunch in the skeletons between their line and yours and make short work of them. And the Silver Talons have now arrived. There is, among the Talons, there are a number of different folks, but their captain quickly walks to the front as you finish off. He is a very small, maybe this is an unnecessary statement. He is a very small person. He's a little gnome. So there's this little gnome, and he's got a really fantastic mustache, like the proper like waxed and curled mustache. He's carrying a breastplate, or he's wearing a breastplate. He has as he walks out, he's got 2 flintlock pistols, 1 per hand. One of them still smoking a little bit from the powder that has recently gone off. And as he goes, Ironhead, is that right? Iron Hand?
Aye, with the iron hands. And you are?
Radish Thistlefoot. It's a pleasure. He puts a pistol away and shakes your hand. Does it with his left hand, though. It's very strange.
Pleasure to meet you, Captain Thistlefoot. I have to say,
call me Radish. Everyone does.
Aye, Radish then.
Talons, form up.
Brenda will just mutter to Gil, that sounds like dinner.
I have to say, Captain, I admire your handiwork, and kind of like gesture like I'm twirling a mustache, and reach just quickly into like a very easily accessible bag on Gron's hip and pulls out just a little jar with this goop in it and just says, "You might want to give this a try," and kind of tosses it to him, and tosses him some of his oil. And just note that right now Gron's beard is not shiny. It is filled with dirt and mud, and it's all caked with his blood. So like he's looking very disheveled, but recommends this product.
Yeah, as Gil healed you, that wound across your neck closed up, but it was bleeding badly. In fact, the front of your armor and your clothing is soaked in your own blood, and you're still feeling weak, both from that and the wound you took from the shadow earlier, that spirit. But he grabs it and he's like, "Well, all right," and you see it disappear into a pocket. Good to know. Well, let's we'll get a line and hold this place until the Cassie folk get here.
Aye. All right then.
Gil's just gonna lean to Grenda in response. You think there's any way I could steal his mustache?
She'll just kind of look at him and say, I'll have your sex.
I don't know how I do it. I think you'd notice if I cut it off. I don't have any blades either, so I can't really cut it off myself.
Well, things get kind of hairy during the fight. It could slip, and who knows?
Oh, slip and accidentally lose all his mustache. Coincidentally, it lands on my face. Maybe I'll just ask him for tips, try and grow something.
I don't think tips are gonna help you. Sorry.
Just the tips of some hair sprouting out, anything like that. I don't.
She'll just clap him on the back.
My dad's never going to be proud of me.
As
We're proud of you, Gil.
as your conversation's going on, you hear on the far side of the platform another boom, like a thunderous explosion, and some clattering.
Suppose we should check it out. You hold this point, and I say that to Radish, and then motion for my crew to start heading towards where we heard that explosion from.
Yeah, back on the far side, you see the red snakes. The red snakes seem to be recovering a little bit. It looks like a group of those giant skeletons had come in, and they have been finished by the time you get there. But there was clearly that explosion was some sort of thunderous magical effect. As you get over to them, you can see that Captain Zhang is badly injured. He's taken a very severe wound that looks to be a gut wound.
Gran runs over and kneels down. Is he conscious?
He's conscious, but he's in bad shape. He goes, hello, my friend. And there's a little bit of blood coming out of his mouth.
What happened here?
They pressed us hard, and we held them back. But that's no small cost. There are a number of dead mercenaries there.
Gran just looks over his shoulder and takes notes of the body and just says, Captain, I regret to inform you I have nothing left in me tank to give you. And I look over to Gil. Can we help the men out?
Hi. You'll tap me, but I've got it. Just kneel over. You getting the last drink in the cask, lad? I'll pump my last second level spell slot to heal the man. And pray that Alara is not dying and in need of healing. That's not great, but it'll do. That's 6 points of healing.
Yeah, he lays back a little bit. Lays back a bit. He's still bleeding, but you don't see him cough up any more blood. He goes, I am very grateful. I was not looking forward to that particular death.
Just be very careful on that. Don't. It's tender. Don't tear it open again.
As you're having that conversation, the wind around you picks up significantly, and you can see now all across this plaza, because it is a fairly large plaza. It is a 60 by 60 square, where it's surrounded by stone pillars, mostly intact, although some have fallen over, and there are a few stone pillars within the plaza. But you see the wind come in and lift the mist away out of this plaza. And as it does, you see the Archmage, Delilah Blackthorn, walk into this area, and with her comes this massive gust of wind, along with a significant contingent of the Righteous Brand soldiers, as well as the other Magi of the Cerberus Assembly. She steps in and she looks around, surveying the scene. And with that, we're going to end for tonight, actually. With that, we're going to end for tonight.
Oh, snap.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was
Thank you so
intense.
much, everybody, for watching. Cass, thank you. I hope you all had fun. That was certainly fun and exciting from my perspective. We're getting really close to our show living up to its name. Not quite there.
Oh no. By
yeah,
any
so-
means, or best left buried.
Heroes die.
The
Die.
other one, actually.
We're not heroes. Mercenaries. die.
I don't know. I feel like we did some pretty heroic
That's
stuff
true.
today.
We are saving some people who are way in over their head.
Y'all
Just the same
saved
as we are.
Captain Zhang.
True.
He's
That was pretty
great.
cool. That was very cool. Folks, if you enjoyed this show, check it out. If you're on YouTube, there's a subscribe button. If you're on Twitch, there's a little follow button. Press it. Get notified. Hang out with us. Join our Discord. It's awesome. It's a great place to go to catch up on what's going on. You can hear a little bit about the main campaign. There are commands that you could be running, which I probably should have told you about earlier if you want to know where we are in the story or what's going on. And of course, I'm sure people in chat were giving that away. And I think that's it. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next Saturday from 1 to 4 Central Time right here. All right. Catch y'all later, folks.